Hegseth, Congress, illegal airstrikes. So Congress is now withholding Pentagon travel funds until boat strikes are reviewed fully. We're going to bring you this story, put him up for a mass. Now, Trump said when it first happened that he was going to release this, whatever they have, and then follow-up came and Trump said, no. I didn't say that. It's called murder. It's killing people. No due process. It's against the Constitution. So this year, at least 87 people have died from U.S. military strikes targeting alleged drug traffickers in the Caribbean and Pacific. Now, Congress is set to withhold Pentagon travel funds until boat strikes are reviewed. They're demanding the video evidence. That man right there is a head. He's the head of the Department of War, as it has been renamed. Keep his picture up. Why is this such a big deal? Well, because Congress has the constitutional right of oversight. It is part of your co-equal branches. That's why. We have already had top military personnel resign because they believe these orders are completely illegal. Congress is using its marquee defense bill to force the Pentagon, which it should be no force, they're co-equal, to force the Pentagon into turning over videos of strikes against suspected drug smuggling boats off the coast of Latin America. Now, you have to ask yourself, if everything is on the up and up, if everything is legal, because you know how Trump likes propaganda video, if everything is on the up and up and everything is legal, why is it that they don't want you to see their airstrikes? Could it be that it is so illegal and so egregious to the human conscience that it would cause the most conservative Republican to grasp their pearls? So now they're playing hide the pickle. When initially they wanted you to know exactly who they were bombing, who they were killing, and that they were somehow being tough on drugs or drug dealers, when the reality is it's all propaganda, it's outside of the context of law, adverse to Constitution, and murder. Lawmakers plan to withhold a quarter of Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth's travel budget until the Pentagon provides them with the videos. The demand, quietly tucked into the final draft of the annual defense policy bill, calls for, quote, unedited video of strikes conducted against designated terrorist organizations in the area of responsibility of the United States Southern Command to the House and Senate Armed Services Committees. I don't believe Congress is going far enough. That's another breakdown. Congressional leaders released their final draft of their defense bill on Sunday, which is expected to be approved without changes by the House later this week, and then the Senate. The provision appeared as lawmakers look into a controversial follow-up strike on September 2nd that killed 2 survivors of an initial attack, an action some experts warn amounts to a war crime. There's more. Hegseth on Saturday would not say whether he would release the video, citing potential safety concerns for troops, which is insane. But President Donald Trump has said he would have, quote, no problem doing so. The Pentagon chief has publicly backed the decision to kill the survivors, although said that Admiral Frank Bradley, head of U.S. Special Operations Command, made the final call on the second strike. Bradley and Joint Chiefs Chair Dan Kane last week briefed top lawmakers on national security committees and showed the unedited footage of the operation. But lawmakers disagreed about what the video revealed. Some top Republicans who viewed the unedited footage contend it vindicates the administration's position. Democrats have called on the Pentagon to release it more broadly. Senate Armed Services Chair Roger Wicker, Republican out of Mississippi, following the briefing, also said he wants rank and file committee members to see the footage. The provision creates a new wrinkle in how Congress will proceed with an investigation. House Armed Services Ranking Member Representative Adam Smith said the footage contradicts how Hegseth and other Republicans have described it. Quote, if they release the video, then everything that the Republicans are saying will clearly be portrayed to be completely false, he said on ABC's This Week. So the military has killed at least 87 people, as noted, in the anti-smuggling operation since September. The administration has said the actions are justified because the people are, quote, narco-terrorists who bring drugs into the U.S. Experts and some lawmakers have said the administration is on legally questionable grounds. The NDAA language also requires the Pentagon to deliver all overdue reports, including lessons learned from their war in Ukraine before releasing the full travel budget. So let me first start with Congress. I don't believe Congress is putting enough teeth into the provision here to leverage the outcome they're looking for. To the U.S. Congress, to the committee, these folks are trying to cover up mass murder. Eliminating a portion of their travel budget is not going to be the kind of leverage that will get them to tell you the truth about the mass murder that they have committed to. Number two, you're not co-equal to the Department of Defense or the Department of War. You're their oversight. You're co-equal to the executive branch. They should never have the ability to tell you what they will or will not show you based on your congressional power of subpoena and your constitutional right to do so. You are not co-equal to the Department of War. You are their oversight. Three, I don't agree with the legal experts. There is no questionable legal ground here. It's not questionable at all. There is no due process. These are not enemy combatants. Congress is the only constitutional entity that can actually wage war. Congress has waged no such war against these individuals. So no, there is no questionable legal argument. It is illegal, point blank, period. All right, Sharon, thoughts here?
Yeah, it's murder. And all these bums in Washington should not get another dollar and they should all go home. We'd be in the same position, Dr. Richey. Okay. They've done nothing. They've abdicated their abilities, their authority, their oversight, just as you eloquently pointed out. It's a nothing burger. I don't know why both parties aren't racing to court demanding, give us what you owe us now. And that goes for the party that perhaps will soon be in power again and the one that is twiddling their thumbs in power currently. This is all sicko behavior while we go to work and pay taxes and increase health care, and they do nothing. They allow murder and do not keep us safe.
Yeah, it's very sad that we are forced to fund this kind of oppression. It's our money. And to the U.S. Congress, your job is to make sure in your oversight capacity that our tax dollars are being spent in legal and just ways that reflect the sentiment of the nation, not to reflect the opposite sentiment of the nation. We'll bring you updates as they come.